All right, guys, we're on lesson 77 here. 77 is all about weight and the different ways that we can measure it. The lesson was called Mass and Weight. All right, and before we start, I want to share with you what mass is. The mass of an object is how much matter an object has. So, like, how much stuff is inside of it, like little atoms and stuff. So, how much matter is it? That's the mass. And the weight is the measure of the force of gravity on that object. So like the gravity of Earth gives force to you, and that shows how much you weigh when you step on a scale. If you went to Mars or the moon and you stepped on a scale, you would weigh less because there's less gravity force on the moon or on Mars compared to Earth. Before you start this lesson practice, I want you to make sure that you have read pages 489 through page 492. And when we're working, you can pause and rewind if you get stuck or have a problem. And I encourage you to do the work with us on a piece of paper. So we're going to start with number A. Number A says, Dave's pickup truck can haul a half-ton of cargo. How many pounds is a half a ton? Well, a ton equals 2,000 pounds. And LBS is a way of writing pounds. It says how many pounds is half of a ton? So we're going to take this 2,000 here and we're going to break it into two equal groups. So we could do 2,000 divided by 2, and we could do the long division. But this really, I think if you guys can see that if I just take 1,000 plus 1,000, that equals 2,000. So this is one group and this is two groups. So half of a ton is going to be one of these groups, right? We can go ahead and do the division problem as well. We've got 1 times 2 is 2. We're going to subtract. We've got 0. We're going to bring down the 0. We've got 0. Put our comma here. 0 times 2 is 0. We subtract. We've got 0. We're bringing in the next 0. And we know that 0 times 2 is 0. We subtract again. We've got 0. And then we got to bring down one more of these zeros. 0. And 2 goes into 0 more times. So that's 0 times 2 is 0. That takes a lot of work, though. I think if you can just notice that half of 2,000 is 1,000, we should have our answer. So how many pounds is half a ton? Well, it's half of 2,000, so it would be 1,000 pounds. Or you could write 1,000 lbs. That is our answer for A. B. The newborn baby weighed 7 pounds, 12 ounces. The baby's weight was how much less than 8 pounds? Well, let's write down the 7 pounds and 12 ounces. Well, I know that 16 ounces equals 1 pound. Okay? So if I know that, 8 pounds would be one more than 7 pounds. So we're almost at 8 pounds right now. We've got 7 pounds, 12 ounces. This 12 ounces, though, is not quite a pound. It's a little bit less than a pound. Well, I know that 1 pound is 16 ounces. And if I added one more pound to 7 pounds, I would have 8 pounds. And the question is asking me for 8 pounds. So what can I do? Can I do something with this and this? Go ahead and move on to the next step. I think we can take a pound, which is 16 ounces, and we could subtract this 12 ounces here from it. And that would give me 4. So I think that the answer would be 4 ounces. If I added 4 ounces to 7 pounds 12 ounces, here's our 7 pounds 12 ounces. If I added 4 ounces here, I would have 16 ounces. And I know 16 ounces equals 1 pound. So 7 pounds plus 16 ounces, or 1 pound, equals 8 pounds. So I've answered the question, right? It's going to be 4 ounces. Okay, letter C. I'm going to go back to my favorite color. Choose the more reasonable measure in problem C through H. So let's look here. A gram is very small. It's like what you use to weigh things like salt for your food. Or you can use it to weigh, I don't know, pepper for your food. Okay? And a kilogram is like, it's around 2.2 pounds. All right, so that's quite a bit. A kilogram's pounds, okay? So if I'm looking at this 57 grams, well, that's quite a few grams. It might not be that, but 57 grams is way more. 57 grams, I mean, if it's 2 pounds per gram, that's over 100 pounds. A tennis ball that weighed 100 pounds would be crazy. So we're going to go with 57 grams. Choose the more reasonable measure in problem C through H. Tennis ball, 5 ounces or 5 pounds. Well, ounces we might use to measure something like, I don't know, salt and pepper. So all ounces you can use for salt or maybe pepper. And pounds we use for measuring things like, oops, let's take that away there. Pounds, we use that to measure things like, I don't know, kids. Or how about cows? Okay, so big things we're going to be measuring with pounds. Have you ever seen a 5-pound tennis ball? That'd be like a tennis ball that weighs as much as your math book. So we're going to go with the smaller weight, 5 ounces. Choose the more reasonable measure in problem C through H. A dog, 6 grams. Remember, we use grams to measure salt and pepper. Kilograms is like 2.2 pounds. Do you think that a dog would weigh as much as a little bit of salt, like 6 grams, or do you think it would weigh around 12 pounds? I'm going to go with pounds. I've never seen a dog that weighs that little. Oh, these were kilograms, by the way. Okay, the next one. Choose the more reasonable measure in problem C through H. A dog. Now remember, 16 ounces equals 1 pound. This is less than a pound. A dog that weighs less than a pound. Or would we go with 11 pounds? I'm thinking we should probably go with 11 pounds. I've never seen a dog that weighs less than a pound. That would be something. All right, let's go to G. A bowling ball. So do you think a bowling ball weighs 7 grams, which is what we use to measure things small like salt and pepper, or do you think it'd weigh 7 kilograms, which is around 14 pounds? Some of the kids' bowling balls may not weigh that much, but I'm guarantee that adult bowling balls weigh around 4, maybe even more. 2.2 pounds times 7, that's like over 15 pounds. So we're going to go with 7 kilograms. This is way too little. Choose the more reasonable measure in problem C through H. Bowling ball, 13 ounces. Well, 16 ounces is a pound, so this is less than a pound, 13 ounces. Or 13 pounds. This is a slightly lighter bowling ball than the last question. But definitely a bowling ball never weighs less than a pound. We're going to go with the 13 pounds. 7 pounds is how many ounces? Ooh, so we need to take 7 pounds and we're going to multiply that times however many ounces in a pound. Do you remember? 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So we're going to multiply 7 times 16. We can do that over here, show our work. 16 times 7, we're going to use the shortcut method here. 7 times 6 is 42. We carry our 4 tens to the tens column. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 4, so we got 7 tens plus 4 tens, equals 11 tens. So 7 times 1 is 7, plus 4 more is 11. So we're going to say 112, and it says how many ounces, so we need to make sure we label this, 112 ounces. Always remember to label. It's not correct if you do not label. Okay, which depends on the force of gravity, mass or weight? Now remember at the beginning of the video I talked about mass and weight. Mass is how much stuff is inside you, and it's always the same. It doesn't matter if you're here on Earth or if you're on Omicron 7. That's a planet in a faraway galaxy. It doesn't matter. You have the same amount of stuff inside you no matter what. That's mass. Weight is how much gravity is forcing you onto whatever you're standing on. So on Earth, if you stand on a scale, the gravity force pushes you down that scale and makes you weigh whatever it says on the scale. So which depends on the force of gravity? Well, it's going to be weight, because your gravity force changes depending on if you're on Earth or another planet. Finally, K. Nancy had 4 pounds of peaches. To make a peach cobbler, she needs 24 ounces of peaches. After making the cobbler, how many ounces of peaches will Nancy have left? So she has 4 pounds of peaches. She needs, we're going to write has here, has 4 pounds. She needs 24 ounces. And after we're done, we want to find out how many ounces she has left, because it says here, how many ounces of peaches will she have left? So we need to turn this 4 pounds here into ounces. Well, we know that 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So we're going to use the formula of 16 times however many pounds. So we got 4 pounds. So we're going to do 16 times 4. And that should give us how many ounces she has right now. And then we could take away our 24 ounces. So let's solve this. 6 times 4 is 24. We've got 2 tens. We're going to carry that to the tens column. Then we're going to multiply 4 times 1 10. That's 4. And then 2 more tens is 6. So 64 ounces is what she has right now. So she has 64 ounces. And we need to find the difference because she used 24 ounces. She started with 64 ounces. How much does she have left? Well, we are going to solve that by finding the difference. 64 minus 24, because that's what she used. 4 minus 4 is 0. 6 minus 2 is 4. So she has 40 ounces left. So this is how many ounces of peaches will Nancy have left. We need to make sure we answer that. So we're going to write 40 OZ left. We'll make sure our circle our answer. If we really wanted to be fancy, we could write 40 ounces of peaches. That's a better answer, left. All right, and that's it for lesson 77.